Greetings. Welcome to the Professional Development video series produced in partnership between Notre Dame Maryland University's School of Education and John Ruhrah's Elementary and Middle School. In this first installment of the series, we will explore blended learning, the ability to transform learning with both valuable digital and non-digital learning experiences for today's connected learners. In his book, Blended, Michael Horn defines blended learning as the engine that can power personalized and competency-based learning. Just as technology enables mass customization in so many sectors to meet the diverse needs of so many people, online learning can allow students to learn anytime, in any place, on any path, and at any pace at scale. Blended learning is an education program that integrates a virtual and face-to-face learning environment for students. In a blended learning environment, students have some control over place, path, and pace of learning. Learning occurs through an integrated curriculum. Learning cycle flows best when unpacked as pre-learning activities that prepare students to engage in both the virtual and face-to-face learning environment. Instructor-led sessions that direct student activities to assess that learning goals are met. Post-learning activities in which the educator uses evaluative data to provide appropriate assignments that reinforce and expand learning goals. Many schools may desire adopting a blended learning model for the opportunity to personalize instruction for every student to grow and flourish, for the ability for learners to access learning anytime and anywhere, and finally, the ability to control costs by tapping into incredible resources and experiences for modern-day learning and assessment. First, part of the blended model involves work in a brick-and-mortar classroom. Next, the learning program must have a part online with some student control over time, place, path, or pace. The combination of face-to-face and online instruction creates an integrated model we know as blended learning. There are many blended learning models. The first is the rotation model, which involves learners rotating through activities such as online learning, small group instruction, whole group activities, and so on. The rotation can occur in stations in the classroom, in a lab setting, can utilize the flipped classroom approach where content is front-loaded as videos or instructional resources typically done at home before classroom application. Finally, learners can engage in an individual rotation model that involves learners experiencing learning in a customized way with personalized learning playlists. Flex learning begins with online learning as its backbone modality and brings in the class face-to-face component when needed. A la carte involves taking a course 100% online while attending a brick-and-mortar classroom. Finally, enriched virtual models involve learning that occurs face-to-face, but the learners can do the rest online when they prefer. Enter HyperDocs. HyperDocs are a transformative, interactive document, something created in a Google Doc or Microsoft Word file, or even using Google Slides, that replaces the standard worksheet method of delivering instruction. HyperDocs describes digital lesson design and delivery of instruction. In their book, The HyperDoc Handbook, Highfill, Hilton, and Landis surmise that HyperDocs allow educators to package lesson plans with the student in mind, to create learning experiences that highlight how students learn, rather than simply emphasize what students learn, and to use the many web resources available to them. Some key strategies to consider when developing and delivering HyperDocs to your learners include creating flexible groupings, whole class, partners, small groups, individuals, even global going outside of your classroom. Collaboration, try digital and real-world teams and group work. Project-based learning, investigate a complex question or challenge. Inquiry method, student-led, hands-on, and brains-on. Intermix digital and non-digital experiences. And also distance learning, learning outside of traditional brick and mortar classrooms. HyperDocs are helpful for developing English language learners. For example, a benefit of using videos allows language learners to watch and rewatch for step-by-step visual and auditory support. Videos often have captions that can be helpful for English language learners. HyperDocs often have visuals that accompany text, which provides context clues for language learners. HyperDocs follows a clear progression from start to finish, which makes it easier for all students, English language learners and special education students included, to follow along at their own pace. HyperDocs can be completed collaboratively with peers, and it is easy to incorporate graphic organizers and other visuals into them. Adhering to universal design for learning principles, HyperDocs allows for multiple methods of information representation and learner engagement, which can help learners have a better opportunity to master the learning goal. Creating an objective should follow Ralph Tyler's ABCDs of lesson objective writing. The audience describes who the learner is. The behavior is the action, skill, competency, or learning that the audience will accomplish. The condition describes the circumstances under which learning will occur. The degree describes the level of mastery the learner must demonstrate to indicate success, the ABCDs. Using the example provided, the audience would be 8th grade students. The behavior would be verbally present statistical information. The condition would be given a graph, and degree is the level of mastery, which in this example is 80%. The second step is to choose the learning cycle. As mentioned before, you can select any cycle you wish, such as the 5 E's. In the HyperDoc model, there are 7 steps along the progression. Step 1 is engage. In this step, you make a first impression for students. You draw them into the experience with hook or some type of excitement. Next is explore. Allow them to explore a topic. Curate and share links to digital resources that fulfill their thirst for knowledge. Next is explain. This is where you explain what they will be doing. Next is apply. Students take their new knowledge and apply it to a situation. Next is share. In this step, students share what they have created, produced. This should be an authentic audience. Next is reflect. Give students the opportunity to reflect on what they have learned. And finally, extend. Find ways to extend the learning through reteaching if students need to be retaught, or by enrichment if they're so interested in the topic they want to continue learning. The third step is selecting packaging. Moving away from traditional worksheets, HyperDocs allow learning designers to craft fun experiences using cool and often free resources. Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sites, Microsoft Word and PowerPoint, any of these digital apps and programs can help deliver the learning journey to students. In the build workflow step, HyperDoc creators must craft the path and prepare the resources for a seamless experience for learners. Finally, in the Design Your HyperDoc step, create a beautiful, fully functional document to provide for students. So again, putting all of the 5 steps together, it's creating a learning objective, selecting a learning cycle, selecting packaging, building your workflow, and designing the HyperDoc. Educators cannot afford to wait and hope that someone else will eventually figure out how to leverage online learning to help their schools capture the benefits of personalization, access, and cost control. Let's create a field of experts. Let's craft HyperDoc experiences for students.